Yo everyone, UFC Paris and Mavov vs Baralho wrapped up early this morning for me. The bloody card started around 2 a.m. and finished by around 8:30 a.m. for me. So after having a rest, I can now jump into this video, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about regarding this card. And by the way, if you guys want to see my live reaction to the card, the Fight Companion live stream is available to watch on the channel with timestamps as well. This card was crazy, guys. Literally so many finishes. I believe all the prelims were finishes, with at least 5 of them being in the first round as well, which is just insane. Basically, this card is a contender for card of the year. That's how good it was. I'll be breaking down every single fight on the card for you guys, giving my personal reaction to every single fight as well. And on top of that, I will also be sharing my bet results from the card, just so you guys can see how the bets from the betting guide went. I post bets every single week in my videos titled Larry's Betting Guides. So if you haven't seen them before, feel free to check one out and try to catch the next one as it comes out, guys. I'll start the video off with my prediction and my betting guide results for the card first, and then I'll break down every single fight, starting with the prelims and then working my way all the way to the main event. If you do want to skip to any fight breakdown in particular though, timestamps are in the description and the comment section below. Now for my prediction results, we did pretty solidly on this card. We went 9-4 on picks overall, which honestly is really good in my opinion. I picked quite a few underdogs on this card, and 3 of them that I picked were able to get the win. I'm very happy with that overall because of how many upsets there were on this card. As for my betting guide results though, holy moly, guys, on screen are all the bets I made in the betting guide before the event, and I'll highlight in green the bets that did cash and in red the bets that did not hit. And as you can see by the profit table at the bottom, we did pretty decent this week, making a good profit on this card. One of our biggest bets was on Sam Hughes and William Gomez, so I'm very happy that that one did cash, as it did a lot of heavy lifting for the profit margin here. We also did very well on underdog picks overall, since I believe I had 3 bets that did cash on at least 3 underdogs, and I bet on 5 in total. I had a bet on Ante Dalia as well when he was an underdog, so I'll adjust the betting guide results right now for you guys. You'll see the change updated on screen, since I did forget to put that bet on during the guide itself, since I'm just a bit dumb, guys. I completely forgot I had put that bet on. Something else I wanted to mention is that if Mauricio Rufy was able to win his fight by KO, or even just win outright, look at these massive bets that I've highlighted in black that would have cashed. The profit margin would have been through the roof for us on this card, but you just can't win them all, guys, unfortunately. Overall though, very happy with the results for this card. I am very keen for the next UFC card, which is UFC Noche, Lopez vs Silva though. The predictions and breakdown video for that card should be out sometime in the next few days, so look out for that video and the betting guide that will follow it later on in the week. Now to move on to my event recap and reaction to the fights though, starting with the prelim opener, and man, we're gonna breeze through a lot of these fight breakdowns just because all these fights ended in finishes on the prelims, and the majority of them ended in the first round. So let's get started here. Sam Hughes vs Sean O'Bannon was the first fight of the card, and man, I called it pretty spot on here. I said that Sean O'Bannon just didn't have much for Sam Hughes in this fight. She was able to get pressured backwards fairly easily, and once they started engaging in the clinch and were grappling on the feet, Sam Hughes got her down fairly easily and was working dominant position pretty much the whole time whilst having her on the ground. Fantastic stuff from Sam Hughes though. She was hunting the finish the whole time. She was trying to get that rear naked choke in the first round a bunch, and then was able to get the sub in the second round. Love that she was chasing the finish a lot. She was being really active, hunting for that finish. Moving on now to Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Andreas Gustafsson, and I know, guys, I did call it. I know I said that I didn't like the defensive lackness of Gustafsson as he's closing the distance and how he could catch some massive shots from Rinat, but I still didn't expect him to cover up and get finished on the fence so early in the fight. I thought he would be a bit more durable, but that straight left from Rinat Fakhretdinov must have hurt him more than I originally thought, which caused him to back up against the fence and ended up leading to the finish. Very impressive by Rinat Fakhretdinov, but just surprised that Rinat overall was the underdog going into this matchup. I really do think he should have been the favorite. Next up, we do have Robert Brycek versus Brad Tavares, and Robert Brycek was able to get the TKO in the third round. He did surprise me quite a lot in that third round, because I said in my prediction for this fight that I thought he would have his best round in round 1, but he would slow down and Brad Tavares would be able to take over, winning round 2 and 3. My prediction was becoming a reality, honestly, since Brad got messed up bad in the first round, almost completely put out from the early onslaught of Brychek, but Brychek did indeed slow down massively in the second round. He lost the second round very clearly to Brad Tavares, in my opinion. The only thing I didn't predict was the fact that he actually seemed to gain some energy in the third round and started pressuring better, regaining some power and speed, most likely using that second round to regain some energy after hunting for the finish so hard in the first round, and he was able to end up finding it by the third round. Very impressive stuff against the UFC vet. Nice win for Robert Brychek. Sam Patterson's KO versus Trey Waters was next, and it did come in round 1, and man, I did pick Trey Waters in this matchup, and although he was looking relatively good early on, I said it live right before the finish that Sam Patterson looked like he was looking for that straight right hand over the top of the jab of Waters, and he was getting closer to landing it. Get to about 2.5 minutes into the fight, and the man lands it flush and pretty much puts Trey Waters outstanding with some follow-up shots. I will not be underestimating Sam Patterson in future matchups anymore, guys. Don't worry about that. Next up, we have Caio Fernandes getting the TKO win over Harry Hardwick, and this was just sad to watch. I knew the short notice, the step up to lightweight from featherweight, and the stylistic matchup were all against Hardwick here, and I really did see him getting TKO'd in this fight, and man, those calf kicks hurt him bad. The ref really should have called it off pretty much instantly as soon as he saw him doing some barrel rolls after he got hit in a calf. Caio Fernandes is really good, guys. I had him beating for SZM if they did fight in this card. I think he's genuinely really good, and he will be difficult for a few people to deal with at the top of the division. In the next fight, we have Ante Delija KOing Marcin Tybura badly in the first round, and man, it was a beautiful KO. I want to get that out of the way straight away. The dude set it up with a massive right hand feint, getting Tybura to guard fully on his right side, and then he proceeded to deliver what looked like to be a super nasty shovel hook to the jaw that pretty much ended the fight right then and there. Some solid ground and pound to finish, but that shot was the shot that ended things in my opinion. I picked Delija as an underdog, which I'm very happy about, but he did end up finishing as even money with Tybura, I think, by the end or by fight night. Great performance from him, and he looked quite emotional after the win, so I'm happy for him, guys. Omar Sy was next. He did defeat Brenson Ribeiro in the first round by TKO. I personally had him winning by submission, but his grappling is truly really solid for the upper weight classes. He looked big, he looked super strong in pretty much every position he was securing in this fight, right up until the finish with those elbows, and I will say I do think those elbows were legal. Watching it live, could make an argument about like what the side of the head really is, but I thought they were good watching it, guys. Excited to see who they match him up against next. Now moving on to the main card, we've got William Gomez defeating Robert Ruchala by decision in a super fun back and forth fight, honestly. Robert Ruchala looked a lot better than I thought he would in his UFC debut. The dude looked comfortable, he looked solid and well-rounded, and his grappling is obviously good. William Gomez was just a step ahead in a lot of the striking exchanges though, and he managed to recover in some of the scrambles, so he ended up managing to return to his feet even after those scrambling exchanges. I scored it personally to William Gomez, 29-28. I gave Ruchala the second round, I believe it was, but definitely it was a correct decision for William Gomez. Another Frenchman gets a dub, guys. Moving on to Axel Sola versus Rhys McKee, and this was a pretty fun fight, but it was a relatively scrappy fight, and I wouldn't say both guys looked particularly high level in the octagon. I thought they both missed quite a few shots, and the shots that they were landing were pretty much full force ones that landed flush, so it wasn't like they were both showcasing a great amount of defense. I do think Axel Sola was slightly pulling ahead in each round before the finish though. I thought it was competitive, but I scored the fight to Axel Sola as things were getting closer to the fight being over. Great win for the UFC debuter against a relatively hard dude to get out of there. Fantastic body shot TKO. I underestimated him quite a bit here, guys, in his debut. My bad for that. Now the next fight is Mason Jones versus Balaji Oki, and can I just say, where is the performance bonus for this fucking guy? The dude literally almost got put out badly in the first round, takes a massive amount of damage, manages to turn it around, hurts Balaji Oki in the first round as well, and steals the round back from him, which is just insane of its own right. But then he also proceeds to dominate Balaji Oki and ground and pound TKOs him viciously, doing a massive amount of damage to him from top position in the second round. Fantastic comeback and TKO win with a great heart shown by Mason Jones. This is why I really do like this guy a lot, guys. In the feature fight of the card though, Modestas Bukauskas was able to get the last second finish over Paul Craig inside that first round. He landed a massive elbow, putting out Paul Craig literally as the bell was ringing, and the ref was looking at Paul Craig at first like, is this dude gonna get up and continue? But Paul Craig, he was completely done, guys. He was completely out cold. No need to even think about a decision, in my opinion, to keep continuing the fight. Paul Craig also did end up retiring, which I did like. No need to take any more unnecessary damage, and I hope he does enjoy his retirement. Great win from Modestas Bukauskas, though. I had a pretty large bet on him by first round KO, so I was going crazy when he got the last second buzzer beater first round KO. Crazy. Very happy it hit. Moving on now to the co-main event of the card, Benoit Saint Denis pulling off the win against Mauricio Ruffi by submission. Insane performance from Benoit. He looked fantastic in there with his grappling. He obviously figured out that his single legs weren't working at all due to the speed disadvantage he had. So once he closed the distance and was able to close the distance enough to grab Ruffi, the body lock into the takedown worked way better for him overall. He was able to completely control Mauricio Ruffi on the ground and ended up finding the submission with the rear naked choke that was more of a face crank, neck crank type choke, as it wasn't fully under the chin. I will say this though, I don't think Mauricio Ruffi is completely shit on the ground. You could tell he was scrambling decently and he looked good in some moments, but I do think Benoit's physicality and his overall grappling ability was way stronger and better than Mauricio's, and better than what Mauricio probably expected it to be. He also got controlled in multiple different positions in this fight on the ground, and I really do think he didn't expect to be controlled that well. Insane upset, destroying a few parlays with this one, but must feel fantastic to win as a Frenchman in France. Congrats to BSD. Now for the last fight of the card, moving on to the main event, which is Imavov versus Beraljo. I thought this was a pretty clear 3 to 4 rounds for Imavov, in my opinion. Watching it live, I thought the third round was very clear to Caio Beraljo, but then maybe potentially he could have gotten the first or the fifth round, but the fucking strike numbers were playing tricks on me, guys. Watching it live, 50-45 though, let's just put it out there that 50-45 by one of the judges seemed pretty crazy to me. And also, if I have to mention something else, there's no way that Beraljo was doubling Imavov's strikes in that first round. They are ridiculous sometimes with counting the strikes live, but regardless of all this, guys, Imavov looked insanely fast out there with his boxing. It was really impressive to watch, and Beraljo really didn't have an answer for that aspect of Imavov's game. Both guys landed some solid shots on each other, but Imavov's, you could tell, were getting to Beraljo at points in this fight, and he had him backing up quite a lot, especially with the feints. I will say this though, I personally would have taken a point from Imavov because of the eye pokes. I know it doesn't really make a difference because he probably would have won the fight anyway by decision, but please, those eye pokes did seem pretty blatant, and I really do hate fouls. Just close your fingers, please, next time, Imavov, man. Anyways, guys, overall, I was pretty happy with watching this card. I think it was close to being a card of the year. I thought it performed quite well, and although there were a lot of upsets, and those might have wrecked a few of my bets, it did make for an entertaining fight night, and honestly, a really fun stream as well, with quite a few people joining me. We were able to make money this time around, which is always a great bonus on top of it all. If you guys have any thoughts about my results, or any thoughts about the card in general, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll respond to every single person that does. That's it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.